Welcome everybody to the March episode of Old Grumblers podcast. I am NextFest. This is my co-host and owner of the channel, COLONELDAMNEDERS. This is Monster Bounce, tall giant man in England. Today we will be talking about what we've gotten as information for the patch 6.1, a little bit about the AI beta that was out, and I don't know. We'll see where that takes us. Honestly, it's just a starting road. We don't really follow any roads around here anyway. So
we don't do tangents, do we?
No.
We haven't just been talking for 40 minutes about like nothing.
No. Yeah, definitely not. We were supposed to start in like an hour, but I was like, hey, I actually checked the time wrong, and Dan was like, I can be there earlier, and then Monster's like, wait, was that today?
Yeah, this is a professionally produced podcast. We have like a Jamie on standby.
Young Jamie.
Yeah.
Bless him.
Right. Do you do should we do the blog first, since it's kind of the most pressing breaking news?
Yes. Have you guys read the blog?
I've
skimmed it.
All right.
I looked at the pictures.
Well, Kislev is getting a big rework, which is really cool because they should have gotten that in like 6.1. No, in Shadows Change, what was that, like 4.0 or so? I thought it doesn't matter. But now finally they're getting everything. So now instead of having 2 DLCs this year, we're getting 1 rework that we should have gotten last year, and a DLC hopefully at some points. How do you guys feel about that?
I kind of wish there was any communication at all. Like, this is good. Like, obviously, this is fantastic, and it should have been there the whole time. But any DLC, some sort of road, not even a road map, just kind of like, the landmarks we might see along the way, no particular time when we might see them. It'd just be nice to know that something is coming other than being left in suspenders.
Yeah, it kind of, I feel like the cadence of content from CA has been reduced to a trickle. Because at one point, we were getting stuff, every 3 months. And now, well, how many DLCs did we get last year? Was it 2?
Just about.
Yeah.
Yeah, just about 2. And you just kind of think, well, that I mean, I guess it's fine, but it does feel like a bit limited. I mean, these changes are good. I like that. But yeah, I would certainly like to see a roadmap of like what they are planning to do. I mean, my hope is that they are working on the next big game, and that's why, they're concentrated on that. Obviously, they've had layoffs and stuff, so all of their resources are put on getting the new game ready, which would make sense. But as soon as we've not heard anything or seen anything about that, it's kind of, it's a struggle being a Total War content channel at the moment.
Yeah. Praise mods, let me tell you. keeping me employed for sure.
Mods are pretty good, actually. Yeah, I've been enjoying those quite a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, the 6.1 does look good. I mean, there's certainly changes. I like the Kislev stuff because God knows Kislev needed it. It was kind of weird. They based this faction around such a narrow viewpoint of these 3 cities and these 2 factions, which meant as soon as they added anyone else into that, it just felt really janky.
Should we actually go through the changes in case people haven't read this entire blog post themselves?
Yeah.
Yeah, I started this tangent so I could read up about it because I have forgotten the presentation anyway. So that actually works. I've been reading this little bad boy. So the basis of all warfare is just deception anyway.
Go on then, Fred, if you're so knowledgeable.
Oh no, I was just saying I actually can't read.
Oh,
I'm
oh dear.
quite illiterate.
All right, so the scrapping.
No, I'm just kidding. But should we just read it or should we just talk about it?
Well,
just give a general overview. So you got the Court and the Orthodox. So previously, Kislev had obviously had the race to. Oh my God, he's actually look at that. Had the race to sort of like confederate the other one, but that only affected Katerina and the other guy, whose name I can't remember. Who is the other guy?
I want to say Alexander something, but it definitely isn't.
Kastaltin.
Kastaltin, that's it.
Yeah, Kastaltin, that's it. Yeah. that only affect those guys. Boris could affect it, but I often find that the couple of Boris campaigns I played, one of the Kislev factions died early, which meant that effectively was worthless because I was like, well, it's now a one-horse race, so no point trying to influence that really. There's only going to be one victor. So they've changed that now to a court and orthodoxy system, which sounds pretty good. The new system, you will accrue support for either side of the conflict via a variety of actions, including fielding relevant units, using them thematically, aligned agents, constructing, building, and dedicating your atamans, who they've also changed and made less shit. As you raise your support, you will receive boons from these major factions, presenting you a secondary progression mechanic that lets you get powerful benefits. Nice.
Yeah, it seems like they're making it a little bit more like the simplified harmony system from Cathay, where, you know, most things affect it, but it doesn't kind of screw over your whole faction if it's not perfectly balanced. And I definitely like the idea that units and agents are part of it, because it just means that, like, oh, well, I'm encouraged to build different armies depending who I'm playing and what I'm supporting, which, you know, any excuse to have army variety is a win in my book.
So it's good. I noticed that it was all mirrored anyway, so Discord didn't want to change that. I didn't want to change all my scenes, or it would just take too long. I didn't want to.
But the key change here, however, this is no longer a race. Instead, supporting only one side of the conflict can cause raising unrest and invite disorder into Kislev in the face of the growing threat of chaos. Kislev must seek unity. Therefore, players are encouraged to balance the support they curry for each of the factions. You may favor one, but favoring them too strongly incurs the wrath of the others. So you've got... Oh, they're all... I was looking at the items and looking at the names and stuff and going, those are frosty plans. That doesn't seem particularly same, but I think they're all placeholders. So
really, you don't think Bring the Cold is permanent?
You don't think chill dude is something they're going to be using? Just cool a chill dude.
Cool vibes. That's quite nice. And there's also Devotion. And Devotion, another aspect of the Kislev feature set we're going to crack at, is Devotion is moving from a faction-wide resource to a provincial one. I can't remember what Devotion does now.
Oh, isn't it the... doesn't it allow you to use those different
the
things
global effects? Yeah.
Yeah, this basically seems like the yin-yang faction-wide harmony kind of thing, with you know, thematically themed agent, because you already had like lords and stuff like that for Cathay. Buildings, obviously, dedicating the Adamas, which is just more lords, I guess. But, well, agents first as well, and then you'll just get different things to get schemes. Is this?
I got schemes.
Yeah. Says a high level of devotion also allows Kislev to counteract the penalties of climate, allowing them to significantly settling flexibility in exchange for a slow ramp up in suitability and making the territory usable using invocations, which I think is great, because I think climate is a trash mechanic and should be removed from the game, because just horrible.
I think climate is like mounts. You could remove 90% of them, because all you really need is like chaos wastes, magical force to be like hostile to other people, and then people could just, you know, be somewhere else.
Yeah.
I get why it's there, but it doesn't add any fun or thought. It's just like, oh, there's mountains there, so it just means if I fight this person, it's going to suck balls.
I think my major concern for it is factions like Tekalis, right? Where you start off literally next to a faction who inhabits uninhabitable climate to you. So you don't want that. But that faction will never leave you alone. They will declare war on you at some point. It's inevitable. And then they will try and fuck you up. So your options are, and because I think the main problem is the fact that Total War has no good way of dealing with factions that you're at war with apart from just curb stomping them. So your only hope is that Oxyotl survives long enough for you to kill Kairos and give him the settlements, and then hope that Oxyotl likes you forever, because that's your only option. Otherwise, you end up with these horrible settlements in the Southern Chaos Ways, which you don't really want. It's constantly going to be a pain in the ass. They don't really do anything. And it's just like, who cares?
I just see like the Matrix when you eat that thing. Like, it's like, not all the nutrients I wanted this gruel.
No one's some slime? Yeah, I was thinking like, it's the exact same as the Great Bastion. I've been revisiting Cafe at the minute. Like, there's all those chaotic settlements outside, and there is no point in taking them. But if you don't, some chaos person will and just keep throwing themselves at the bastion.
Yeah, that's the main problem, I think, with climate, is the game isn't rich enough to actually have anything that you can do with settlements apart from conquer them. That's it. That's your entire option, is conquering.
My suggestion, just have it be corruption based. Like, if something is heavily infected with corruption, slow down construction speed, increase construction costs because you have to, deal with the corruption whilst you're doing it. And then as corruption comes down, it basically becomes a suitable place to live, or goes up, depending on who you're playing.
Yeah,
I feel like that just
makes sense.
be the exact same thing, but in a much, removes one surplus mechanic that doesn't really change anything.
That or actually go all the way, because I feel like CA does a lot of like almost all the way kind of things. Like climate is there, but they really should go even further. Like, oh yeah, it's okay, it's uninhabitable. You can't build that much, but you can defend it. You will have replenishment. You will have like other stuff like this, but you'll have something special there instead. And in like your main settlement, well, in your good climate, you will actually have everything you're supposed to, but it'll be either limited or special for the really bad stuff.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. I think if there was a reason for you to like do that, which is going to help you overall, like an outpost, something like you can't get a proper settlement in the Chaos Waste, but maybe you can get an outpost, and because you are taking the fight to Chaos, you get certain bonuses for doing that. Would work. But yeah, I just remember that every time I play a campaign where I border that east of the Darklands where Grimgore starts, both in my Gorst and Grimgore campaign, I've just had to in my Grimgore one, I decided just to invade the Chaos Waste because it was easier. And in my Gorst one, I just had a general up there with a horde of zombies, a Strigoi vampire, and his job was just to stop any army trying to come southward. And I fought like 3 battles a turn with him. And I had to fight them because your resolve was like, no, all these zombies will die. So I had to fight every single battle. And it was 3 battles a turn. And I just hated it. It's just doing the same thing again and again and again and again. And for no real benefit. And I hated every second.
Yeah. I don't really know a way to fix it without just like removing it.
But I mean, they're now saying Kislev can survive in Chaos Wastes, which... Yeah, well, sure. I mean, especially for Boris, who starts there.
I mean, yeah, if they give a system like that to someone, chances are it'll make its way to someone else. I mean, we saw Rush Construction come in with... Was that the Dark Elf rework, or was that the Chaos
Yeah,
Dwarves?
Dark Elf rework. Well,
and then,
rework.
Yeah, it's
tweak.
It's made its way to like a bunch of different factions since then. So if something like this is good and received well, then I can see it making its way to other factions, which would be really nice.
Yep, that would be... Yeah, it was just different ways of doing it. I think factions like the Vampire Pirates could potentially benefit from it.
They need a whole other rework.
Yeah, they're not as bad as Norska, but yeah, they are.
It's a low
bar.
They
are pretty bad. But moving on, Atamans have been made stronger, which is great because they were terrible.
Wait, did we talk about devotions as well?
I thought we just.
I think we just skipped that one. Devotion is basically just their
control.
Control, yeah. That, and you'll be able to spend some of it apparently with different things, kind of like the Dark Elves or the
Slaanesh,
Chaos Dwarfs, Slaanesh as well for your promises. So we'll see how it actually works, though.
I mean, yeah, those mechanics are like, I don't, get so excited about using them. I feel like a mechanic that you just click a button for these buffs is a little bit boring, but it gives them something.
It's not exactly engaging gameplay.
No, it's not a bound burner.
It's more busy body work.
But we also got Atamans, and you know what? The one thing that really excites me here,
Drew Tell.
Well, is the Garrison Sally attack.
That one was actually.
Let me tell you why. Because one of my personal big fucking hates about the Total War franchise is the shitty little armies that sort of get away from you, play keep away, and just run away into your territory, and they're strong enough to sack a settlement without a garrison, but they're not really warranting a full stack to deal with. And one of the main problems is if you have like a border settlement, what they'll do is they'll just go, I'm not attacking that, laters, and just run away and just run around it. Whereas now you can be like, oh no, you don't, motherfuckers. You stay right here, and then you pummel them into the ground. and that way you can kind of have like a border of settlements with defenses and garrisons, and then if anyone tries to get through, you can be like, stamp no.
I think that should be standard for everyone, really. I feel like you should be able to use your garrison not as a normal army, but just like if there's someone in this area, they can go.
Yeah, in the region.
Yeah, all that.
To be honest, I prefer area because there's a wildly different.
Yeah, regions
some of the regions
are
are wildly different. Yeah, it's like the buildings you get, which are like, oh, if an army starts in this, it's minus 20% movement, and you're like, well, that's great, except for the fact this region's about that size, but I've got this one next door, which that would be useful in. So just having a radius, I think, would be significant.
Yes, some regions are just like, all right, the city's here, there's the border, and then it has all this. So if the enemy comes from there, good luck.
Nice. But I think you sold me on this one, actually, because I was not excited for this one at all. I felt like now, especially with the AI change stuff like that, you get so many armies. Like most garrisons can't even defend themselves against like one army a lot of the time. Some garrisons can, like the good ones, dwarves, high elves. Some of those are really good, etc., etc. Like most of them will just die anyway and need like some extra army there. So I didn't really guess that one, but as you say, like Sally Attack is really good.
Yeah,
but,
I think it's one of those things that is feels like a minor change, but actually I think that actually is a bit of a game changer.
I would actually want to go further on that one as well. Like I always say, like CA always goes like 70% of the way for where they're supposed to go. Because the problem we have is that armies run around the garrison and stuff like that, and are in your land. You start sacking like smaller settlements. It's annoying as heck. And then you have to just divert resources and attention over there, and it's just not like the most fun thing to do in the game. But one Total War that fixes that, 3 Kingdoms, because they also have. If you would have the Sally Out garrisons for everybody, for example, and military supplies, then they wouldn't be able to do that as easily, because the problem with the military supplies is that once you go into their like the hostile territory, you're just going to start dying very soon. You have to hurry up and do something. You can't just like meander around there.
Yeah, I like the concept of supplies, and I think they should go a bit. I think the idea of logistics is a good one. I personally didn't think it went far enough in 3 Kingdoms, because basically as soon as they took a settlement, they basically had to resupply. So they just needed to grab something, and they were like, yeah, no, we're resupplying, which I guess is, you could resupply off what was in the settlement. But I do think there needs to be limitations on it. Like if you take a settlement, there needs to be like if that settlement is producing supplies, like it's got farms or something, you can be like, okay, that counts as supplies, we can resupply off that. But if you've just taken it over, obviously maybe everything's been burned down and shit, and so you won't be able to resupply off that immediately. I think there's a lot of really interesting stuff they could do. I think the main problem is they'd never be able to get the AI to actually do it.
I think one of the things that I mentioned when I was making like my wish list of Warhammer 3 was like you can make your own garrisons. And whilst this isn't like that system, it's about as close as you're going to get. Because can you imagine if that AI had to make its own garrisons, you'd end up with some absolute shit stacks. No, I'm just gonna attack this minor settlement. Oh, 20 Hellstorm rocket batteries. Sounds good. And then just all sitting blob at the middle.
If you attack the Kislev settlement, it'd be 19 fucking frostworms. Kislev love those things.
I tell you what, I've been looking at the different units of trying to do some lists here and there. The frostworm is pretty good. Kislev, in my opinion, doesn't have the most exciting roster, and the frostworm is one of those few units in that's like, damn, this is nice. Puts in work. You're just mad because it stole the name from Norska.
No, I'm just mad because it doesn't do that well. Whenever I use it, it's not that good.
I find it to do all right, but maybe I need to ditch it more. Anyway.
I think the thing I love about the Frostworm is the fact that if you put Katarina on one, it's just like she's like strapped in as this thing just bounds all over the place and gets thrown. Like that woman is going to have whiplash after about 30 seconds on that thing.
It's like the dudes who ride on the bears as well. Just go like this. Like I always imagine that also being just the worst ride on the planet when they go on the Pegasus, because they go like this. Yeah. So you're like,
It's weird.
Don't
Isn't
like
it?
that.
There's certain characters like when they're on a mount, they still move, and then you've got certain characters. I'm thinking like Rakarth on his dragon. He's just like sits there like completely stock still. Like I'm just gonna sit as this dragon does all the work.
Yeah, or Wolfric on his mammoth like this.
Just sits there. I'm not moving.
He basically puts a deck chair on top of that.
Yeah.
I just think Katarina's the funniest one because that thing moves so quickly and just all over the place. It's just launching in different directions.
There should just be like a 0.5% chance that she just flies off and instantly dies.
Just ragdolls through the air.
I guess there's a reason why she only has that for like 2 or 3 levels or something before she's like, the sled, I'm going on the sled instead.
This is a terrible idea.
Just gritting your teeth and just holding on for dear life as that thing goes on. It's like, still, I need to cast a spell.
Good. Yeah, so Garrison Sally attack.
Yeah, the Atmans, they get a new loadout. They get a
new loadout
and a pistol, and they have a skill tree that seems to be a lot more about settlements and governing than military. Which, sure.
Thank you. Can we do the same thing with caravans, please? Can we please? Can we please do the same thing with? I can't believe they just went, caravan guy. We'll basically make him exactly the same. Maybe we'll give him a few different skills. It's fine.
You 100% should be able to recruit your own units into the caravans because they are just like get a new caravan 50 turns in. What's the point?
Yeah.
You know what? I was playing Chaos Wars the other day, and I sent a caravan all the way to Kar. They go along the top around the bomb.
Yeah.
I was basically just about to hit Nagarond when Kar, the faction, went, fuck you, I'm going to declare war. And at that point, I'm like, well, that caravan's dead. And 3 turns later, it jumped right next to Kar. And there was like 3 stacks of guys there. And I was like, well, guess I'm going to need a new caravan then.
It's just like, you want some armaments? We have labor. We have plenty of things for sale. Just like 1,000 arrows, like the end of 300.
There was nothing I could do. I was just like, well, I can't cancel the caravan and go, the fuck, come back home quick. It's just, he's just going to march to his inevitable destruction. And that was it. He was just dead. And it was just, oh, okay, well, guess we won't be going there again.
Yeah, Kairos definitely needs some work. And I tried them a little bit. I've been playing Cathay and we played the Tigerman mod, and the Kairos have done pretty okay, but I'm like a 60 turns in or something. So after usually it's now that the caravans just stop working anyway.
Yeah, I just don't think they should be on the campaign map. They should be on a separate map, and you can have ambushes and attacks that happen on that map, and they can be related to where they are in the world. That's absolutely fine. But I think dumping them right next to 5 stacks of enemy troops where you have no control over it and being like, well, your caravan's dead. Better luck next time. It's just like, oh, well, I guess.
I think maybe they should only be interactable by like agents. Like maybe just make them immune to armies. They have like diplomatic immunity and you just can't touch them. But agents can do stuff to them. And if an agent completes a certain action, maybe it like opens them up to being ambushed or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
They probably need a full rework on them because then it would be like, oh, well, how do you stop them? What's the like risk of sending a caravan away? Should there be a risk? What would be the reward?
Same time, how do you stop them? Let's be honest. If you couldn't, they're not that great to begin with. I mean, the Chaos Dwarf one's pretty good, but it's just like golden items. And like, whoa, I'm always struggling for golden items in my Warhammer games.
Yeah, they nerfed them as well. Used to make loads of money from them, didn't they? Now you only get basically an additional income based on their cargo. So at most you're going to get like 1,000 extra money from.
Nah, I mean like the Cathayan ones, you guess you spend like 1.2k and you get like between 4 to 6k or something. And like Zhao can send out 2 at a time, so you get like 12k every like 7.
If you attack them, so if a caravan,
when you attack
them, you just get what the army was, what you'd normally get plus the cargo value, which is like it's barely worth attacking. So it's like, why bother?
Yeah. Back in the day when you got like 30,000 for it, everybody's like, hello.
The weird thing is that faction declared war on me, killed my caravan, which probably had like 500 income on it or something. So they probably got, I don't know, maybe 2,000, and then like 5 turns later they went, I'll give you $4,000 for a peace treaty. Okay, great, thanks.
They just want a commission.
Who knows? Anyway, so Atamans will be made better, which is good because they were kind of, I mean, they weren't bad. They were just really boring. They every so often they get those skills, wouldn't they? They'd be like, hey, do you want to make coffee 5 pence cheaper, or do you want to have 4+ control? And you're like, well, obviously I'm going to pick the 4+ control, aren't I? And then it would go, oh, do you want your ice witches to be higher level, or do you want your priesty guys to be a high level? And you go, oh, I don't really give a fuck, to be honest, either way.
I mean, I can always say like they weren't that bad, but then I would just ask, if you could replace them with anything else, would you?
Yeah.
And if the answer is yes, then yeah, probably weren't that good.
Yeah. And occasionally they come up with like the test 10% income, and you'd be like, well, obviously I'm picking the 10% income. Why would I pick anything else? And then there were like 3 good skills, and everything else was like, sure, I guess. Who cares?
I feel like a lot of Warhammer comes down to that. You just get to the point where you're like, I don't care.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's Warhammer is filled with choices where you're just like, oh, who cares? I'll pick that one.
It's
like most heroes after level 35.
Yeah.
Most of the the events that pop up where it's like anger the gods, and it's like you get increased control or worse control, but by growth it's like, well, like, I mean, growth's kind of there, but I don't give a shit.
So I could pick either of these, and frankly, it wouldn't change my. I could literally close my eyes, pick randomly, and it would basically have no effect on my day.
Yeah, I mean, like the really bad part is that you get less growth nowadays with less control. So usually they like cancel each other out quite a lot as well. So what you're really choosing is like 5 extra growth or not.
I hate the one which gives you either less replenishment or less movement. It's like, oh, great.
Oh yeah. Or the old Norse guy ones where it's like, do you want 10 less melee attack or 10 less melee defense?
Jesus.
Pick wisely. And you're like, why
are you picking on me? My army's so shit.
The goddamn Norse marauders going like, oh, like why?
What have we done? Because they also have a new tech tree. It's being reorganized and revamped, which is great because the previous tech tree was pretty garbage.
Looking at that screenshot, it looks like it's divided into 3, but I swear that is going to be a scroller.
Yeah, a horizontal scroll bar. And I will die on the hill that anytime you have a horizontal scroll bar, you have formatted it wrong. Like, it is just poorly formatted, and you should redo it because you didn't do a good job from the get-go. I don't, like, it's so bad. I don't understand why they have that. It's like, it's just poor formatting. If it doesn't fit into the screen, how can it be like, oh yeah, that seems better?
You should go to Horsham, go to CA headquarters, go to the desk at the bottom of the office and be like, I'd like to talk to the person who formats the tech trees, please. And then when he comes down, just punch him and walk home.
No, I'm going to be even worse because I'm going to, like, in that case, I would just bring with me a little USB stick with a PowerPoint presentation. Just be like, oh, I booked conference room 5. You and me now. Oh, yeah, no, I already offset your time. I talked to your boss about it. It's fine. But I haven't. It's a lie. I'm just going to keep them hostage for an hour.
Why
you have your PowerPoint, and then, like, the text goes off screen, and he has to scroll to read all of it.
Yeah, it's just a scroll bar all the time. Do you see what that is?
Do you understand?
Oh, no, I cannot read the rest because then I would have to scroll. But it fits so nicely, and it's so nice, the rest of it.
And he's there going, oh, but
strange.
I love horizontal scroll bars. They're my favorite. Oh, let me scroll across. Oh, it feels so good.
The person's going like, oh, yeah, so good. God damn it.
Anyway, so tech trees.
It has 3 tabs, so you get 3 horizontal scroll bars.
Lovely. I mean, that's 3 times the fun. Right. But I guess they've taken the tech away from being cities because that felt kind of weird. Because didn't you need the city at first?
It was such a terrible idea.
Stakia sitting there with her horde of spiders.
Well, thanks, I guess. Even basically, they made a faction for the 2 starting factions and went, oh shit, we need to add more guys to this, don't we? Oh crap. Anyway, so
2 armies of spiders with lethal poison.
So technology is no longer locked behind owning the Kislev capitals, as we felt this incentivized early infighting in Kislev. No shit, Sherlock. Not to mention 50% of your factions don't start anywhere near fucking Kislev. But
it's so funny at the start of the Kislev factions, like, we almost worked together to keep out chaos. But first, fuck you, I will invade.
The bulwark of the Empire, just like punching each other to try and get those cities for technology.
Akin just stood there like, what do I even do here? Like, they're all dead. It was just like Catering with a busted up nose and a black eye, like, come get me, fucker. I've got my
I don't care no bell.
Now time for the election.
Oh, what's that? Gestalten's dead. It's a fucking Azazel within one turn. Yeah, that sounds right.
I feel like with Kislev, they had this idea of like, oh, there needs to be like a political system. So there's like a balance between those two factions, and they put the Atamans in because they kind of looked at lore and they designed mechanics that kind of went with the lore, and I get that, and I think we'd all agree that the factions of Warhammer 3 had very flavorful. Like the idea behind the mechanics was flavorful, right? You had things like meat for the ogres and stuff like that. The problem was, I don't think they had enough time to really flesh those out. So you just had to sort of like, there's a political system, okay, but how do the other factions fit into that? We don't have time to think about that. Fuck it, just put it out the door. It's done. Meat. Oh yeah, we'll have meat for, I don't know, some buffs. Fuck it, it's fine. Go out. It's just and it's taken this long for them to come back and go, yeah, these actually don't work very well.
Yeah, it's kind of like Norska from the get-go from Warhammer 1 coming into Warhammer 2, and they're like, oh yeah, this it's playable. Then like you're playing Katarine, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm winning the political race. Let's check out how Costin is doing. And you see like this smoldering pile, and everything's just dead there. And it's just Azazel gyrating his hips.
Woo, one party state.
I think the political system that Cal has now is probably like the best political system we have in the game, where it's like he has a clear goal. He's like, I want all the Empire and I want it to be nice and safe. And I have these actions. I can confederate. I can help out other people, which makes them easy to confederate, and it all just kind of works nicely together. Kislev needs to get to that point, so they just need 3 more reworks, and they should be there.
Easy. The glorious year of our Lord 2035. Warhammer 3 still has 2 people working on it, comprised of 2 modders.
Ah, blessed be the modders. All right, so then we're talking about Zinch, which
No, he's a sorcerer.
Yes. Now, I do remember when we were first shown Zinch, Kairos, the first thing I think quite a few of us said was his mechanic seems like arse, because the idea that you kind of have these is it ancillaries? I don't know. It's been ages since I played. Or is it a magic item that you slot and you get the different spells?
Yeah, it's magic item, right?
Yeah. So you've got this magic item that you slot, which then changes the spells that you have. And pretty much everyone went, well, that seems terrible. That seems like a terrible mechanic.
It's just so clunky.
Yeah, just a weird way of doing it, right? But it seems like they've changed it and made it a little bit better, which is like, oh, cool. Now, they haven't changed the changeling, have they? They've left the changeling as is.
The sameling, you could say. Sorry.
It would be nice if maybe they'd done a little bit of work to make his schemes not complete hot garbage. But I do now kind of like the meme of the changeling just being fucking terrible at his job. Like he to cause chaos, he goes and swaps 2 bottles of milk around in the supermarket. He goes to the supermarket, he takes 2 bottles of milk, exactly the same, swaps them around, and he's like, chaos done, and then runs out of the supermarket laughing away to himself, having achieved fucking nothing, which is exactly what the changeling does. He is so bad at his job, but I kind of like that. So you know what? I'm okay with him not changing it.
I think he's got his place. It's just like a random fucky strange faction. So yeah, I'm okay with it.
But I mean, I'll be honest, when he's being played by the AI, all he does is potentially leave cultist buildings in your cities where you go, wait, why is there Zinch corruption here? Oh, for fuck's sake, right, burn that to the ground.
And then you just see him like scuttling away, and then just kill his one army, and he's like, oh.
I think like the biggest argument for having like a really big rework for Kairos though is that it's a 50-50 split right now. on the playtime. They say in the blog as well for like Kairos and the Changeling for scenes factions. And like one of them is a DLC that I'm fairly sure is not doing too well on like it has mostly negative on Steam as well. So like it's still 50-50 because they still prefer that one almost like the 50% degree. That is kind of crazy if you ask me.
Wow, I didn't realize that. That is a little bit sad.
Because the fragment of sorcery seems cool, but I personally have trouble just seeing how it's going to work in practice just from a lot of these.
I think it's
so
gonna
I'm
be
probably going to have tried it myself.
I mean, you can see from the like how many different mockups they've done. It is going to be UI gore. Like no matter how they do it, if you want to be able to select from basically every spell in the game, it is going to be hellish.
As long as there's no horizontal scroll bars, I'm actually happy. Vertical scroll bars, no problem. But like, as soon as one vertical one is there, I'm gonna go on a 5-minute tangent on that.
Yeah.
So I mean, the idea is good. I just don't think it's a particularly interesting. Like, it's basically just your lord gets more spells, which is it's fine.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be so much cooler if you had access to certain spells that you could then buff in certain ways? That you could go, oh, I'm going to take, Gehenna's Golden Hounds, and I'm going to make it last twice as long.
Or maybe
Cataclysm spells.
Damage.
It'd be cool if you could like fuse spells, and although that'd just be like so much extra animation work, but it's like, oh, when you cast this, it does, like a flaming head, but also at the same time as it's doing that, it like spreads, a buff in its area from a different spell. That'd be kind of neat, but that would be like so much work that it would just never happen.
I mean, maybe Kairos, like if the AI casts a spell during a battle, he gets access to that spell or something, cool. And that would then make you go, okay, I'm going to go over here and fight this guy because I think he's got this kind of wizard, and so therefore I can sort of like steal that magic.
Yeah, make it a little bit like the Changeling, where if you like you beat someone in battle, you maybe just steal their spells. That'd be maybe neat rather than just like a skill point. But like this whole thing is for that one mechanic. Is there not like more stuff in Siege that you could tweak? Like, and the changing of the ways kind of like one of the most broken ass mechanics to come out of the Warhammer 3 launch?
I mean, I don't know how much people use it. Whenever I play Kairos or Chain, I don't actually use it that much. Maybe steal a settlement for the lulz, but that's something I have to remind myself. It's not a natural part of the game, I feel.
No, I always feel like those things that it again, it's kind of like the Changeling, and it's kind of fun to dick with the AI, but it doesn't really help you.
Yeah. Like some things that I do not understand why they didn't do anything about it is like the buildings, like Khorne has like for mortals and demons. They don't need to exactly have that one, but like maybe something for buildings, economy, like make his economy better. And most of all, like his tech tree is just worse than the Changelings. And it's just so weird.
Why is that? Why is it worse?
It's because but if you also have one like the teleport stance, for example, teleport ambush stance, which is clearly like the best thing in it. And it's fun as well. I'm just gonna say there's a teleport stance that doesn't cost anything. If you want that tech, it's something like 15 turns or something like that for the Changeling. I can't remember exactly, but it's like just under 20 turns at the very least. And then if you want it on Kairos, it's something like 60 or 70 turns something.
Jeez.
Here's a question. How often do you use a teleport ambush stance?
I play mostly Kairos and not much.
No. Because whenever I play like a Zinj campaign, everyone's like, oh, the teleport ambush stance is the best thing. I'm like, well, the problem is, one, the AI needs to be in range for you to use it. And it's a bastard trying to get them into range the best of times anyway. And two, it means you can't move afterwards, which means that if you ambush someone, you're now stuck there. So if you ambush one army and they've got 3 stacks nearby, then enjoy fighting off 3 stacks next turn. So it's incredibly like it feels like a very powerful ability, but realistically, it's so situational that it's almost worthless.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I don't like playing Siege. I just don't find him fun. Like the moving the winds around, like I mean, yeah, it's strong, I guess, to like have lots of magic in your armies, but is it fun? Not really. The changing of the
I don't know.
ways, I mean, you can do it, but is it fun? Is it engaging? Do you want to do it? Not really.
If you've done the 19 Lords of Change and Kairos magic bullet hell on an enemy army, it is pretty entertaining to like watch an enemy. Like at one point I had this entire I was fighting Gorok and I had a massive Saurus just like coming in as reinforcements, so I had like 8 of my Laws of Change just hanging over where they were going to come on. They come on, I drop all the infernal gates on them, I drop all of the flamey things just at the same time, and you watch these guys just march in and get completely annihilated, and you can watch the casualty figures just like go as they just march into this constant sort of like meat grinder, which was very, very entertaining, but also quite broken.
However, do you do that every game, or are you more likely to have like one lord, maybe a couple of heroes, and so it's just kind of a okay, cool?
I'll be honest, the 19 Lords of Change is pretty unbeatable in every just
you facetious bastard.
There's not much that there's 18 Lords of Change, like 19 Laws of Change can't deal with.
I just think that Kairos could do with some extra love in other places.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Shout out to Kairos though, because before Shadow Change, he was the hardest campaign on Legendary in the game. But then you got Bestigors, which helped them a bunch. Because just getting your Chaos Warriors of Siege versus Oxy, like you would just die. He was so tough to deal with. You would have to like do these shenanigans where you had to ambush by a garrison and just like get rid of his main army. Pray he didn't do like some other shenanigans.
Yeah, and then you end up with this like massive long empire where you've got Templars on one side and probably more lizard men on the other, and you're just like, oh great, no, I need to deal with both of these at the same time.
Yeah, and they can invade it literally anywhere. It's like there's no front line, they just go and take any of them. So they call them Chaos South Pole. The Chaos South Pole though is really cool in the lore. It's like a glass, fire, ice hellhole where nothing lives except for like these super feral beastmen who can't get anything because everything is just fire, ice, hellhole. So if you want like fire, you just like take someone's bones they've been laying out for a while and fire those up, and you just punch everything to death, literally everything. And then you try to find like this giant temple where everything is just beating each other up even more.
So it's basically Australia then.
Yeah.
Nice. So we've also got 3 units.
Woo!
With some amazing unit art.
Yes.
Unit art was really cool.
Just so you people know, me and Monsters have both campaigned to have this be a free LC pack for everyone. We want this because these images are rad.
Yeah. Release the
MS Paint.
The work in progress art pack. That's what I say. I'm going to be honest, I'm not super excited about either of these units. No. The Nangao Grenadiers are, I mean, they're fine, but I don't really think that Cathay needs it. I mean, if you want a short range shooty guy, then you've got the Cannon Cathay people.
Yeah,
probably a better option.
It would have made much more sense to me to give them like an elite grenadier, because if you're on an early missile unit, you have the archers, you have the gun dudes, and then you have like the early artillery, which is probably better than this. Like with Grand, we haven't seen the stat card, but it probably will be.
Feels like multiplayer asked for a really cheap burst units, kind of like the Vampire Coast has, because it's just the Vampire Coast dude about living.
If you're a
I'm saying
Total War person, put your face up to the camera. Fuck you.
I think they should have had a grenade thrower instead, like one elite grenade thrower or something like that. Because we check like real history, we got guns like the first guns started coming up around like 600 years ago. You got cannons like 500 years ago. You started like building architecture around that as well. And we have grenades. We have like so many like super weapons, but Cathay's had like gunpowder and guns for like 3,000 years. And they're like, yeah, blunderbuss, bitch. And like a sniper rifle that's like kind of weird. They definitely should have like one elite grenade thrower instead. That would be really cool.
I think, you know what, having thought about it, what I would really like to have seen would be like a balloon which throws grenades.
Ooh,
you already have a balloon that throws rockets.
Yeah, but I want something that you kind of have to like fly over the top and they're like dropping bombs down on people.
Give them a balloon bomber.
Yeah.
Although
That would
that was
actually
just
be
like
more
interesting.
just such a giant
I-
fucking
instead
magnet
of
for
the-
missiles.
Instead of the other one who's like, pew, pew, but it's like
Yeah,
really
'cause-
slow, really dangerous. And then when it actually comes over, they're like, poo, poo, everything just starts dying below.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. I like because I mean, currently you've got the balloon which shoots people, which doesn't do anything, and you've got the rocket balloon, which is, I mean, less useful than just having a rocket launcher. So you may as well.
It's really good though. Once you, if you play like against the melee factions, and then you get it to the side and you start shooting like on the front line like that. It's so good then.
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
think-
that's like every 10th battle maybe if you're lucky.
Yeah, if they,
Yeah,
have,
yeah,
if they
so
have a
it's-
single missile unit,
Yeah. I mean, that would be the same with Grenade, but I like the idea of them just like flying overhead and just dropping bombs down. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just think that'd be a little bit more cool.
Noblar
And we've got the
flingers.
Noblar Flingers. Yeah.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah,
Well,
Most
recruits
akin to a
Noblars.
Skaven slave slinger. Wow, what a comparison, guys, to this new exciting unit.
Also a unit I never recruit.
yeah, we'll see. Maybe the people who like doing the unbreakable stacks or like super Noblars will like them.
I'm sure OK will find something to make them stupid. But yeah,
I just never recruit Noblars. As soon as I basically start an ogre campaign, disband Noblars, boom, job done. Never bother recruiting Noblars ever again.
love me ogres, simple.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like when I play ogres, I want the big dudes. I don't.
Yeah.
Isn't
Yeah.
it-
Exactly.
Is there like a Noblar lord? Could he be like a legendary lord for ogres? That'd be pretty funny.
No.
Like a faction leader. That'd be neat.
Noblars aren't that bright. They're basically halfway between a Stotling and a Goblin. So Stotlings are effectively like cats. They don't really have. They can be affectionate, but they're not really intelligent. Well, they're more like dogs. And then obviously Goblins are conniving, but Noblars are sort of like a mix between the two. So they're slightly smarter than a Snotling, but not by much. So you wouldn't really have one leading. I mean, it would be cool to have like a Red Gobbo type character. That was a character in Gorka Morka, which was the game. It was basically an Orc Mad Max game. And the Red Gobbo was sort of the special character for the Goblin faction, because the Goblins did not do very well. They tended to die a lot, and the Red Gobbo, whenever you hired him onto your sort of like team, he had random stats because it was never the same Goblin because they died so often. So if you had a Noblar like that, that'd be quite fun.
Yeah, I mean, like we have other stuff that leads now. Well, people wanted a troll lord for a long while, so
Throg?
yeah, Nob.
Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, like a generic lord, and people were like, "No, that doesn't work."
They're too stupid.
Frog is the only smart one.
Right,
Bless
should we
him.
talk about this AI beta? Because I did you guys actually do anything? Because I didn't touch it.
I did like 2.5 campaigns, but that's.
How was
How
it?
did you find it?
I thought it was really fun. Like I play on Legendary. I played Bellacore first, and that went hilarious because I was like, yeah, I'll just go in and just subjugate Draika as usual because it's usually not a problem. That's like my strategy with him. I go in there, Draika comes in with like 3 or 4 armies straight away, wipes the floor with me. I'm like, all right, well, at least I'm on my little island, so nobody can take me on. Wolfric straight away, weak sauce, points at me, gonna get you. Sails over with like 4 armies on that. It takes me 7 more armies before I even land on Norska that I've killed. And you just have like a brutal war with him. And then afterwards, it's kind of getting a little bit, okay. Then I tried Imrik as well. And Imrik was very fun. It was really like one of those old school things where old Imrik in Warhammer 2 was like, you do it like this and you have like an okay campaign. But like now, Imrik on the AI beta was like, you do it like this or you will be wiped out. Because Drasoth and Morse and Thretch went for me the first 2 campaigns I tried. So I had to like restart twice as well, which is not often I have to do that. Yeah, I got completely floor wiped. It was super duper fun, honestly.
Awesome. I'm glad because I got about I was away for like a week, so I didn't really get into it until I got back. So I didn't really play that much. I was using Grimhammer as well, so I don't know if that had any effect on it. But I'll be honest, I didn't notice much of a difference personally.
No, I mean, Grimhammer has Heracles AI overhaul as well in it already, so it's kind of like that anyway.
Yeah, I would have. I wanted to try it longer. Unfortunately, it got taken down. But it's fine, but I didn't notice a huge difference, to be honest. But maybe longer with it would be better. Problem is, I only play for an hour a day or so. So I didn't.
I mean, if you played Grimhammer with the AI beta, it kind of cancels it out, I think.
Yeah,
because it already has Heracles.
Yeah, I don't know whether that how much of an effect that had, but yeah, it probably didn't. So I didn't really try it, but it would have. It's nice that they're looking at it, and it's nice that they actually found the problem, which I'm sort of surprised. Well, am I surprised I didn't notice it earlier? The thing is, I remember bringing up the fact that AI was blobbing up around their settlements like months and months and months ago.
Yeah, a long time ago.
It's been happening for a long time, and I flagged up and went, "Should they be doing this? This doesn't seem right." And it's taken them this long to actually go, "Oh no, they think agents are armies, and it's freaking them out." It's like, well, yeah, that would probably explain it.
God, it really is just there. He's standing there menacingly.
I think it's going to highlight how bad some factions are, though. Like, I don't think Asag with that AI beta would be so like they would be something you need a massive amount of luck on, because like Ungrim would probably just murder you. You don't have that many like things that's like if he starts spamming Doom Seekers, you're basically it's just thank you and good nights. Same with Vlad as well. If you go to war with Karakadrin and stuff. Also, like garrisons will need a rework probably as well if it would be that aggressive as it was, because some garrisons will not be able to handle anything at all, especially now with like 2-3 armies that are coming at you all the time as well, if not more. So it's going to be a lot of like butterfly effects on things that just don't work. Like the stronger factions will have a kind of the same time. I guess the mid factions will have like normal. Harder and probably more fun, and then like the lowest tier will be even worse off.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we will see. But I think it's time also. Well, have you guys heard anything about it? Otherwise, like general feedback. Like my community has been very positive to the worst AI beta.
I think people would generally seem pretty happy with it. A bit disappointed it came down, but overall people seem to like it, which is good.
I'm trying to see if there's a Steam post about the beta going down. Maybe there's comments on it, but I cannot see it.
I think most people were happy about it, because right now the game is a little bit easy, I guess. Like when we played so much as we have, then it's like, yeah, Warhammer 2 became easy in the end. Warhammer 3 is also easy, but easier. And it was very nice to like play some challenging campaigns and just like trying to get used to new AI, because it would be at least like 1 month or like a week or 2 at least of like finding it difficult before one adjusted to it anyway. That would be fun.
I think the issue with Total War is that it's not a fun game when it's hard, because it's just not that deep. It's basically like you fight battles and then you fight more battles and you take a settlement. And if you're not doing that, you feel like you're not really doing anything. You feel like you're not progressing.
I mean, it depends on what difficulty they do. Like there's a lot of like really tedious difficulty in it. But when they do it right, it's really good. Like Imrik is always a good example. For example, hard starts, you get bonkers crazy strong eventually. You can overcome that. A lot of people don't like a lot of in my community. I'll have this discussion every once in a while where difficult is not fun. Just as you say, like if you play a bad faction, a bad place, that's going to be a bad time. If you play a good faction that is well crafted in a bad place that is also well crafted, like bad place, you're going to have a good time. So it's all just. Game design once again.
I think there's games where if bad things happen, that can be quite enjoyable in itself. I don't think Total War's one of those. I think if you just end up in a big grindy war, the likelihood is that some of the factions are just going to declare war on you and dogpile you. So, I don't know. It's. I think Three Kingdoms did it better. I think Three Kingdoms did a lot of things better.
The Three Kingdoms is such a good game, man. I'm gonna shout out once again. But last time I tried it, like it's not just one of my favorite Total War games. It's one of my favorite games of all time. It's so good, man.
Yeah, and I think Three Kingdoms does it in a way that Warhammer. I think the thing about Warhammer, and I think I saw this on Reddit the other day, is that Warhammer is a good game because of Warhammer. It's not a good Total War game.
How dare they say something so true?
Like if you take Medieval 2 and you have the Warhammer mod, right? It's good. It's a good game because it's based on Medieval 2, which is a good Total War game. Whereas if you took Warhammer and you made that into like a medieval simulator, like you had a medieval mod where you get rid of all the fantasy and it's just medieval, that would probably be a fairly shit game. I'm like,
I don't want to accept this. Yeah. My brain hurts now. Why did you curse me with this?
Sorry.
Dang it. It's probably not better than Pharaoh or Troy. It's just larger. Shit.
Sorry for this curse knowledge.
I know I'm titling this one. Troy is better than Warhammer 3.
Lots of red arrows, lots of big faces. It'll be great.
He said what?
Bang.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think Warhammer is a particularly good Total War game. You know what? I love Warhammer 3. I do. But if you took all of the fantasy stuff out of it and it was just, Europe, would I think it was a good game? I don't know if I would actually.
Yeah, I mean, like the battles are cool because of wizards and magic and blah 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 blah. Like the battles are better in Three Kingdoms and like a lot of them also. Like Thrones of Britannia has really cool ones. Maybe I think so anyway. I know I'm probably alone with that.
The thing is that the battles in Three Kingdoms are very sort of like stately affairs. It's all very like, oh, look at my big blocks of people moving around the map. This is giving me enjoyment because of that. Warhammer is effectively a 5-year-old's birthday party after they've had cake. It's completely, it's just mania. It's just you've got goblins raining down on people being launched by catapults. You've got trolls clubbing people. There's dragons flying in the sky. It's great.
A giant golden ball just spawn to just roll over half the army.
Yeah. It's ADHD in in a game, which is absolutely fine for what it is, but it's not really a very good sort of stately affair. So
it does feel like Warhammer battles are just like some kid with his toys going like, and then Karl Franz comes in and he lands on Archeon and hits him with his hammer.
Yeah. Which is and that shit is great, and that's great, but doesn't necessarily make it.
I mean, I was gonna try to point out before the comments do that. Obviously, like the game is based around Warhammer, so obviously it's gonna be like good with Warhammer. But yeah, like without fancy stuff, the other games are pretty good. Not Troy though, maybe. Troy is not that good without the fancy. With fan stuff, it's pretty good. But if you just replace all of the like Warhammer names and things like that, and you just have like, oh, these are Greek Minotaurs, this is like a European dragon, and just keep on going like that. It's gonna be like worse just without Warhammer, I guess. But maybe I really like Warhammer as well. Suppose.
Still love the game though. It's just
yeah, still love the game. Yeah.
That was a comment that just went oof. Ooh. Oh god, you might be right.
Yeah. Where were we even?
Are we doing what have we been playing?
God, we're only 59 minutes in. This is a speedrun podcast. We shouldn't have done that 3 hours of talking beforehand.
No.
I know that Fred's been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance.
I want to get on
played so many games.
I started playing that. I had it on my Steam Deck, and it was working actually pretty well, which I thought was pretty good for Steam Deck.
I was like mildly interested, and I watched a review that's like, this is the best RPG I've played since Baldur's Gate 3, and I was like, excuse me? Would you agree, Fred?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I would actually. It's just really good. But it's also like, if you enjoy that sword fighting and stuff like that, I trained some with weapons and stuff like that when I was young. And fighting is supposed to be hard, right? Like if 2 people are trying to fight you, you have to be really good. If 3 people are fighting you, dang, either you're a god or like 99.9% of the time you will get wrecked. And I love that in KCD 1, but now you're a little bit more powerful, so 3 is usually not that big of a problem.
No, I did not get far, and I keep meaning to go back to it and play it, and I just haven't had time. But I did, because I got through the tutorial bit, and I got to the bit where your friend is like, oh, I can hear women, and they start like sneaking through the river and stuff, and I was like, mate, you're gonna get cancelled. And the next thing that happened is everyone got cancelled and clubbed in the head, and I was like, well, I warned you, I told you, if you go sneaking up on women in rivers, it's gonna happen. But he didn't listen to me.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game. It's just so much love put into it. It's actually crazy. 100%.
But it's also
a little map of Gutenberg.
Ah, that's cool.
It's also one of those. Play on this, send me that as well. It's the hashtag. Didn't pay for this, so for legal reasons, not bragging. It's one of those things that before the tutorial, people were like, yeah, I spent 40 hours just doing like the tutorial area. And I did as well. I spent like a week in the tutorial area, and all that. I was doing side quests and maxing out and stuff like that. Then I go to like the finishing thing of the actual tutorial area and just like dumpsters everyone because I'm just so over leveled. It's like sneaking. Oh yeah, sure, mate. Swing.
I have to get back into it. It's on my list. It's on my list. But there's also been NextFest. And I know Fred's been playing NextFest games.
So many. I'll just take the highlights from NextFest though, and that was the Last 2 demo. That was such an improvement on the first game, like crazy improvement, so much smoother, so much better. Because the first Last, I think, is clunky. It's good, but it's clunky. But now it's like very smooth, very good. They changed the engine, which was really good.
Oh, great!
Engine, not ending.
I did. The problem with NextFest, I find, is that it's difficult to find the good ones from the pile of dross that tends to be. I did manage to find a handful of ones where I went, oh yeah, this is really good. But I played about 10 in total, and I think there was only 3 where I went, oh yeah, these are pretty good. I enjoy these, and the rest of it was like, this is just.
Which ones did you like?
So I liked. Hang on, I'm going to look this up. Run Tavern Quest, which is, how to explain this? So basically, it's like a text-based adventure where you like type in, attack,
cool.
tavern, keep, whatever. But you are playing as the actual game, and the guy who's playing it is an idiot. So you can basically give him options, and then you watch him type. So, for example, at the start, he like types run, or he types new gag me instead of new game. And your little computer goes, okay, do we just run with this, or do we just throw an error? What do you want to do? And you have to like pick it up, okay, throw him an error, and he has to try and retype it. And basically, it's that kind of game where this guy's a fucking idiot, and you're trying to.
That sounds really, really interesting.
Yeah, it's only the demo, so it's like a little contained adventure in itself, and the full game is like going to be something different. But that looks genuinely really cool, and I played through it and really enjoyed it. So I don't know how many options there are going to be though. Whether it just gives that sort of illusion of having choice, or whether there is actual.
You have to imagine something like that. It'd have to have like such a cataclysmically large amount of writing to account for every possible combination. Like a Slay the Princess has so much.
Yeah.
So
So it's a bit. I mean, you get options like it's that he looks for a weapon. You're like, well, there's a sword, there's an axe, or there's a can of beans. So you can go, I'm just going to give him a can of beans, fuck it. So you give him a can of beans. It's like, do you realize a can of beans is a terrible weapon? You're like, yeah, I don't care. He's got a can of beans now. It's just that sort of thing. So that was
basically a streamer looking for content. There's a can of beans.
Yeah, basically. And I also played a game called Grit and Valor 1949. Which,
that one is pretty cool.
Sounding game.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's I was a little bit dubious, but I saw a mech in a strategy game, and I was like, well, gotta give it a try. And that was actually, I really enjoyed that.
It's
I did not
fantastic.
think I'd enjoy it as much as I did, but I did really enjoy it.
Is it turn-based or is it real time?
No, it's not. It's like a real time, but you can pause and you can like audio. So your mechs will shoot at whatever's in range, and the enemies arrive, and it's real time. So you have to like tell them, I'm going to move you over here, and they can only shoot when they're stood still.
Oh.
And it's sort of like how to explain it. It's was it Defend the Breach? The guys from FTL did.
Yeah, Into the Breach.
Into the Breach. That's it. It's like a real time that one. Basically,
really fun. I'm not.
And you have you've got like waves of enemies, and once you kill a wave, you can get an upgrade that will upgrade one of your mechs, and you can pick which upgrade. And it's like green upgrades and purple upgrades and yellow upgrade, and you can it's a node like. So once you can finish one map, you then move and you can pick where you're going to go and go all the way down to the boss. And then when you fail a run, you get resource. You go back to your base. You can upgrade your mechs. You can give them different bits of equipment and stuff, and then you can go on the run again. And it's just really fun. It's really quick. Really enjoyable. Yeah, I really like that one.
I played exactly one demo in the NextFest. I downloaded a bunch, but I only got a chance to play one else. I was not feeling too well for some reason, and I played a game called Lush Foil Photography Sim. It's a bit of a... which is like a gigantically nerd thing to do, but it's just, this guy has painstakingly created these beautiful landscapes, and you just walk around and take pictures, and it was just so damn peaceful. I was just like, it just seeped into my soul.
You do like your like pretty environments, don't you?
It was so relaxing.
Good graphics as well from the trailer.
I know it doesn't like when you get in.
Oh yeah,
it's not
of
like
course, Annapurna Interactive.
Obviously, it's not like the most. Although it's Annapurna after all the staff's left, so we'll see.
Yeah,
it's made by one guy, and I was just thinking like it's one of the best examples of like a guy that's like, right, I'm probably not the best game designer, I'm probably not the best writer, but I'm good at making worlds and I'm a photographer. And he made a game about that, and I just think that's so great. It's not like a game that's fun to play, but it's just very relaxing.
It's food for the soul.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's really nice.
That's cool. I'm gonna download that one, try it out.
I did download that Skin Deep, which is another Annapurna. I basically just downloaded a bunch of Annapurna ones. It's a immersive sim, but I ain't got the chance to play it yet. But it looks pretty wacky.
Other games I tried on the NextFest was Breath Edge 2 demo. Was really cool. Recommend that one. And Tempest Rising demo, like that one is just fantastic. Is there anything else worth noticing? Shout out to The Second Circle, which was like one of the worst games I played in a while. It was like I really hope they're gonna fix a lot of that. It's like Ghost Runner for Gooners, but it's not well made.
Me and my friend, what we do when we're waiting in a queue or something, we'll just go on the new and trending and check out what the latest Goon games are, because they are just so absurd. Oh wow, yeah, I see. Man, those ladies have some gigantic breasts. Ah, that spider has gigantic breasts. Very nice.
I didn't see that when I was picking games. I was like, oh, just running around with a sword like a Ghost Runner. Then I started up and I was like, oh, this is surprising.
Boobies.
Oh yeah, and Deliver at All Cost. It's a local Gothenburg studio that made that one as well.
Oh, cool. I tell you what else I did play was Rail Gods of Hysteria.
Okay.
Which is what's that vampire game where you kind of like build a castle and it's sort of
V Rising?
Yes, V Rising. It's basically V Rising with Cthulhu, except you have a waifu tentacle train. Yeah, exactly.
Did you say waifu tentacle terrain?
Waifu tentacle train. Rail Gods of Hysteria. So you play a little man, and you kind of go and you can cut down trees and shit, and you can get wood and sticks, and you can attack monsters, do a crazy people or Cthulhu, because it's all Cthulhu based, right? Basically, so you can go and beat up Cthulhu monsters and take their skin. But the main thing is you have apparently wished really hard and managed to make a giant tentacle waifu train that you have to feed meat. So the idea is you basically like it's your base. So you go back there and you kind of like construct additional carriages to like have your workbenches and stuff
That's
in
cool.
there. And your waifu train gets hangry if you don't have enough meat. So you have to like kill enemies and stuff to get meat to then feed your waifu train, and then you can set your train. And there's different like stations along the way and stuff. It's
But
yes.
when you said waifu train or waifu to hang out with, I thought it was going to be like this like succubus kind of character or something like that. But it's just because I forget who I'm talking to, because I'm looking at like the pictures and this is just a monstrosity train.
Yeah.
This is just looking like
a train engine with tits.
Yeah, but this is just an eldritch abomination monsters.
I'm gonna show you the thumbnail that I've created for the video that I've not yet.
Okay.
The worst person to make Slaneshi art.
I mean, that's sort of.
It kind of works, doesn't it?
I mean, it's not phallic; it's the opposite, I would say.
No, but the thing is, right? The train is specifically said as she calls you master all the time, and she likes you to be inside her. So.
Monsters just got called master by a feminine voice, and we're just like, oh, waifu. that's what he's telling us.
Well, look. All I'm doing, give the people what they want. So it's.
You know these Goon games, Fred? You wonder who they're for? This guy.
They're not even. He's just playing Overlord, the old game, and they're like, "For you, master." You're like, yes. Give me the spoils, you little shit.
Tiny little waifus.
My goblin waifus.
I mean, I do like goblins. I mean, everyone's short to me, so it doesn't really.
Yeah, that's true. Honestly,
as a game though, it's fine. But it's kind of got all the V rising bits. Just none of it is particularly engaging. That's the problem. Like all of the places you go look basically the same. They're marked as like, oh, this is a lighthouse, and it's basically the same brown map with grey rocks with a lighthouse in the middle. And you go to the camp, and it's brown ground, grey rocks with a camp in the middle, and it's basically the same thing. The only real cosmic horror thing I found in the entire game was the fact that as part of the story, it sends you to go to caverns, which can be in any map. You just find a cave in the map that then takes you to a brown map with grey rocks in it. And there's a guy you need to talk to there. And apparently he's just in every fucking cave. So wherever you go, he's always there. That's the most cosmic horror. Also, he always gives you copper wire for some reason. I don't know why. But otherwise, it's just kind of like, it's nice, but it just, I couldn't see myself playing it for more than like, an hour or two and going, I'm never playing this again.
It's kind of highlights how hard it is to go out and make games, because I always give, people always give shits to Total War about stuff, but like in the end, even Warhammer without Warhammer themes, it has a okay 4X map. And it has like great battles as well. And that's 2 games basically, like games like nobody else makes, like just one of those almost, like can almost make it. Obviously Paradox really good at just the map parts. Other people are also really good at just the map part, but like combining those 2 is like actually crazy.
Yeah, I think.
And then people say, yeah, but where's the naval combat? You're like,
yeah, naval combat.
Fucking game.
I think
or like, if they make 40K, I hope they're gonna have like the entirety of Battlefleet Gothic in it.
I think it is very easy when you just play a lot of games and complain about them all the time to get to the point where you forget that like how hard it is to make not a good, but a game that is like fine, like how hard that is. So, much respect to people that actually make games, because I could never. I can make barely passable videos, and that's about the peak of my ability. And of course, mediocre podcasts.
I think the mediocre podcast is actually a group effort. I have to point out.
So I can make 1/3 of a mediocre podcast.
I mean, he does do all the editing, so it's like 50% him, and then
honestly, it's true.
To editing,
but I have to drag you guys here every time.
That is not untrue.
Right. Okay, so 50% Damneders, 30% Freds, 5% me. I think that's.
There we go.
Weirdly enough, that sounds about right.
No, there's just a void. No. There's not even anything else covering that percentage. Just
yeah, that's just the shadow that is this.
I did play 2 other games, which were noteworthy only because they looked like mods for existing games. I played Void War, which is basically Warhammer 40k FTL. It's literally cool. FTL with a 40k skin on it. And there was one, I can't remember the name of it, but it was one where it looked like a mixture between Prison Architect and RimWorld. If you then jabbed SCP in there as well, it was sort of like build a containment thing for anomalies.
Oh yeah, Void War. You said.
Yeah.
That's the one that people say that it's like. No, I only heard where people are like, no, this is just FTL with Warhammer themes, basically.
It really is. Like even the UI is different, but it's all basically the same place. So you can look at it and go, yeah, this is obviously I'm assuming they actually made all of this, but yeah, it's basically just FTL, but 40k, which it's not a bad idea, but it's just as soon as you open up, you go, oh, I see what they've done.
So I play a lot of games, and the ones that I kind of want to mention are like 9 more games because I play God. Like people don't have no idea how many God hand games I play on the stream. You're like, it's just a Total War streamer. Foundation got released. Did you guys ever play that one?
Was that the build?
Colony Sim. Yeah, Colony Sim. It's actually really good. It was super fun. Really enjoyed that one.
Oh so, yeah, I've seen this on my Steam forever.
Yeah, you should definitely check it out. And the latest Sniper release was pretty fun. I liked that one. Played a couple of missions and got invaded every single one of them. Oh. So I got to flex for my chat when somebody else comes in. And I tells you, like, when you play these, I just kind of systematically try to eradicate everybody on the map like a psychopath, right? And they're like, oh yeah, there's a body. You want to go check it out? They're like, mein Gott! Hans ist der tot! And I'm like, and they're like, oh, there's 2 bodies. Anyone want to go check it out? And you just do that. But then somebody invades you, and my pulse just goes from here to like, because a player is actively searching for you. I had to do like, then I had to like go for, like old tags, like this is how you would do in real life if you were chased by somebody in hostile territory. So I would like put up traps for players and stuff like that as well. So I'm a 4-0 in the invasions anyway, so that's cool in my. And Eternal Strands, I don't know if you guys tried that one. Cool RPG. It was like way cooler than I thought it was going to do. It was completely. Yeah, it was completely overshadowed by everything else. But it really reminded me of like Phoenix Rising, if anyone remembers that one, the old Ubisoft game.
Oh yeah,
because that was because that was a good game that nobody gave a shit about. And I think Eternal Strands is going to be the same way. It's like a good 8 out of 10 action game with cool stuff.
How long is it?
Like, I have no idea. I haven't gone that far into it. But it's like cool powers. You can climb stuff. Good, like way more interactive than you would think.
It looked like kind of like AA Monster Hunter sort of thing.
It's weird, isn't it? You can make the best game ever, and if you release it at the wrong time or without enough marketing, it's just no one notices and it just slides under.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is so.
God, I was just perusing like the bottom of the NextFest, and it like slowly just descends to porn.
It really does, doesn't it? The further down you go, this looks like more tentacles. Oh yeah, that's a lot of tentacles.
I was talking to apparently like the Learning Factory dudes. It's basically like Factorio, but with like cats. Apparently they changed like the algorithm for Steam just like a couple of weeks before their 1.0 release, because you're only allowed to be early access now for 2 years, and they didn't know this. So like nobody knew they were going to change this policy, right? So they were doing like good, they were trending well, and then that hits, and the Steam algorithm just completely dropped them, and they didn't get any like Steam traffic at all to their site. And then they had to release like 3 weeks after, which was not great. But the game is it's pretty decent though. It has 85 on Steam.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but
there's so much crap these days. It's so hard to find the good stuff in amongst the.
Yeah, and then there's also Blood Bar Tycoon, which is like, how do you explain that one? It's like you make a bar. It has to be for vampires, but also for living people, and then you try to kidnap people to drain them of blood and make like blood drill and stuff like that, and different blood products from them as well. And you have to like keep that away from everybody. But that was that's still early on, and like still early, I think, in early access, because I got to one level and like everything just became chaos every single time. Like everything was super easy up until that level, and then people were starting dying and then panicking and bringing in more hunters, and then people just died and brought in more hunters, and it was just crazy.
This was good.
Yeah, it was decent.
Tycoon. That looks up my alley.
I used to love Tycoon games.
This is just me. This entire segment is usually just me convincing monsters to play different things.
It doesn't take very much. I'm generally fair. You're right, Damneders.
Yeah, I'm just. Oh, what? Sorry, I just went into
He's
witness protection for a moment.
Yeah. And then, like a pirate. No, like a dragon pirating a Kusa.
I want to play but don't have time.
Yeah, I mean, like that. That's why I stream, right? So I can just like, I gotta do this for like a couple of hours now. And that's
the Accuser games, but they keep seeing weird shit from them.
Yeah, they are the weirdest games you're ever going to be playing, because the normal ones are like hardcore crime drama in like a Yakuza world. And then it's like you step out of that, and then you have to like go and like find cat food for some street cat you found. And then like you have to go find parts for your RC car, and then you have to like go host a bar and like maintain that bar and the schedule for the waitresses, and then you have like some dance off and karaoke and like find some dudes who like are dressed like babies and you have to beat them up, and then hardcore crime drama again. But this is just one dude who just gets stranded on a small Hawaiian island, but like basically fights local gangs, discovers that they have a galleon, an old-timey galleon, and he just decides, I'm a pirate now. While having interspersed like this super cool acting and drama, basically.
Well, you can be anything, be a pirate.
Yeah.
Do what you want. A pirate is free. You are a pirate.
Did either of you play He Is Coming?
No.
Don't look at me like it's not what you think. It's a hooded horse.
A goon game for monsters.
It's not. It's not. I promise.
Typical monsters.
Now I played She Is Coming though.
Hey.
Sorry, I couldn't resist.
No, it's like. Did you play games during like the No, you're both too young. Back in the day.
No,
right,
I'm like what, a year or so younger than you, I think.
The fuck? How old are you?
I'm not gonna say now.
Yeah.
I remember when I got Sweden though on the steamboats. The year was 1895.
There was. I'm 43. How old are you? Younger?
Slightly younger, not much.
Oh, you look so good. Why?
I'm keeping it mysterious, so that people can guess.
God, I look like a haggard wreck. Anyway,
Same.
So back in the day when we had, no, you don't. You look like a fucking Adonis. Shut up. Back in the day when we had Spectrums and Amigas and stuff, or no, Ataris, I guess. When we only had like 5 colors on a screen at any one time. We had games like He Is Coming, but just nowhere near as good. So the idea is basically you're this little knight sprite, and you have this maze you sort of run around in, and there are enemies that only move during the night, and there are bits you can pick up. So there's like equipment you can pick up, and you start off with being able to equip, I think, like 2 bits of equipment. So you have a weapon, and then you have 2 equipment slots. So you can pick up a weapon, and you can pick up 2 bits of equipment. And these do different things. So, for example, you might pick up like some boots that increase your speed by 2, but decrease your attack by 1. You might find a sword which increases your attack by 3, but reduces your armor by 2, or something like that. Or it might have effects. So maybe, if you're wounded, so you've been reduced to 50% health, then you get 5 armor or something. So the idea is you basically have to like build up your character to then fight a boss. So you have, I think it's like 5 days. So there's a day-night cycle, and each time you move, it ticks down, and then eventually it'll become night, and then it'll be day again, and then night, and eventually a boss will attack you, and you have to fight the boss. And if you beat the boss, then you get access to 2 more equipment slots. So then you have 4 equipment slots. And then you have to keep moving around, and you might find like different things. Like there might be, I think there's an altar or something where you can take. You have two of the same item, you can merge them into a better item. So it's like basically the same item, but like two merged together. So that frees up an equipment slot. But then you need two items of the same to do that. And it's basically like a roguelike where you just run around trying to make your character as powerful as possible before the third night, or the third sort of boss fight, when you have to fight the big boss. And he's like super duper powerful. And if you beat him, then you get to go on to the next map. And it's that kind of, and it's just a really fun little. It doesn't take very long, and often like I found that within about 5 minutes I went, yeah, this character's shit, and all my equipment's trash, and I'm going to die to a boss.
Did you ever watch Parks and Rec?
Yes.
Do you know when he's like talking about his wizards and cones?
Yeah.
That's how I felt now.
I do realize it does sound quite similar. But it's a hooded horse game, and it's pretty good. There's a demo. I think there's a free demo at the moment. I think it's part of NextFest, so you can give it a try. And it's genuinely, it doesn't take very long to do a run. I think the longest run I ever did was about 10 minutes. It's just nice and quick and satisfying to play.
Seemed pretty cool.
And it's not a goon game, so there we go.
Oh, cool.
We believe you.
Did you guys ever try a 2-point museum?
No, I can't really get into the 2-point games that much. I don't know why.
2-point hospital was pretty cool.
I look at them and think, that looks so fun, I want to play it. And then I play it and I'm like, I don't know why.
2-point hospital I thought was okay. I never played Campus. I don't know why. I feel like there was no marketing for that one at all. But Museum has been really good, actually. I really enjoyed Museum. It's really hard to be angry at them as well. Oh shit, it has overwhelmingly positive reviews as well, like 96.
Shit.
I'm with Damneders here, because the sort of like the 2-point sort of theme of, and there's other games like this. I can't remember. There's a game set in space which is like a hospital sim as well.
Galacticare.
Yeah, Medicare, and that's very 2-point hospital like.
Yeah.
And I don't mind the cutesy sort of aesthetic. That's fine. I think I have a problem with the fact that it's fairly easy. I think, you know what I think what I don't like is the fact that to make the rooms better, you just slap whatever you want in there, and basically the more you slap in there, the better. And I don't think that, and it doesn't really matter what you slap in there. It's just,
yeah. I think it runs into the problem that I get when I play games like Planet Coaster and Planet Zoo. It's like, I would love to play Planet Coaster and make this intricate park, but I play for like 5 minutes and I'm like, I'm bored, so I just slam whatever I want in to get the best score possible. And then I'm just not having fun because I'm not being creative. I'm just optimizing the fun out of it.
Yeah.
When Museum gets a little bit, you have to have like, for some exhibits, you need like a frozen area for like ice. People try like frozen fossils and caiman frog trapped in ice blocks, stuff like that. They need like temperate, humid stuff for stuff. Then you need like aquarium part for other things. And a lot of stuff needs like, oh, this exhibit here needs an exact like this type of thing to get a 5 score. Things like that. So it does get a little bit cooler. And also you get the space also just doesn't make it so you can just slap everything in one room.
My folks is freaking out.
The whole thing is weird. Yeah, I mean, they do realize that you don't need a cold place to have cold-like exhibits, right? That's not how museums work.
Yeah, and you need like a freezer, like air cooler right next to them.
A mammoth statue that doesn't need to be in a freezer.
No, it's more like this is a frozen prehistoric monster in an ice block.
Right, that's not how museums work, though. That's more like a research.
To be fair, I don't think they're going for accurate realism, since in 2-point hospital, you screw a light bulb onto someone's head to kill lightheadedness.
Yeah, no, I did see it and I was like, I've got 2-point campers and I keep thinking, I should try that. I've had it for ages and I haven't installed it, and I keep thinking I should try it.
You know what might be more mine and yours, big nerd street monsters? Project Hospital.
Yes, you see, now I have seen Project Hospital, and I do. It's kind of right. It's the difference between the new XCOM, which is a bit more sort of, I don't know. It feels a bit more chunky and professional, and I'm kind of like, it's nice, but you know what I really like is the slightly janky Xenonauts, which is a little bit more like the old style of XCOM. And I kind of think that's probably where I am with 2 Point Hospital. It's like, yeah, it's
I
all
wish all
very
the information was
polished,
hidden in
but
3 different menus.
yeah, exactly. I want to be able to have scroll bars, both horizontal, vertical, and potentially in another third dimension. I'm not 100% sure
Diagonal
where, but
scroll bar, that'd be so horrendous.
It's like get it closer. The scroll bar.
see, that's exactly what I want. But yeah, so it's very polished, but I kind of prefer the slightly more sort of like the more real. That's what I am. I'm more real. That's what I need.
Speaking of real, did you guys try Mind Over Magic? I tried that one recently.
Oh,
It's got released last month as well.
Yeah, that's
It's
been on my
like,
wish list for weeks, and by weeks
it is on. It is Clay. I apparently already owned all Clay stuff, so I could just buy the bundle for like $15 or something, which had only this one for me.
Yeah, I could do that.
So
it's quite fun.
yeah, it's like Oni-esque, but it's not the same developer. But Oni-esque, but you make a magic academy, and then you have to go down to the basement, like fights and stuff like that in a turn-based manner with 4 dudes.
That is how Magic Academies work.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool, honestly. I didn't try it much, but the what I tried was pretty cool. And it got almost 90% on overall reviews.
I think
That's pretty good.
I think I just need to like play games more. I think I do too much non-productive. Like I'll just like watch YouTube instead and just like sit there and become a vegetable. Where it's like I should just like stop this and just like if I'm gonna do nothing, I might as well play a game. Like if I'm gonna take a 3-hour break in the middle of the day to watch YouTube because I can't be asked to do anything after I've eaten lunch, I might as well just play a game for 3 hours. At least that's like relatively productive.
You know what Dan does? No. Do what makes you happy. If watching complete garbage on YouTube is what makes you happy.
Oh, it's funny. I've just been watching your videos.
I was going to say, just make sure you turn the just make sure you're not using an ad blocker. That's all.
I would never use an ad blocker.
Good, because that's
in fact,
cheating.
I
That's basically robbing me blind.
I would pay for
you
YouTube
may as well
Premium.
have your hands in my pockets, stealing my money.
And believe me, I wish I did, but I cannot. I honestly want YouTube Premium, but first of all, it encouraged me to watch more YouTube, which I already said don't want to do. And second, it's so expensive. It's like £20 a month. It's crazy.
Oh wow!
Fuck.
Maybe not 20, but it's close.
I always say that you never spend more than on free games, and you never spend more time than on YouTube Shorts.
I don't watch Shorts. I've managed to not get into TikTok and Shorts, which is like I'm so proud of myself.
Like the problem with Shorts is that usually I'll just be like scrolling there for like I don't know how long, and then it's like, oh, what did I watch? And then like, oh shit, I don't remember anything. Nothing was important enough, and then I just like try to go and read a book instead.
Yeah, my girlfriend's like, I've got this TikTok show here, and then she opens TikTok and just doing this for like 40 minutes to get to the TikTok that she liked like 5 seconds ago. I'm like,
I did go through a phase of watching Shorts, and then I realized that they're all trash basically.
Yeah.
And like, what am I doing with my life?
This is like, we've been on a tangent for the last 30 minutes, so if you're still here, nothing's getting rid of you. But I was talking to my friend a while ago.
Also, we love you.
Yeah, we do. We appreciate you. And he was like, I've been trying to like watch something on my second screen less when I'm playing a game, and it's like I've completely stopped doing that unless it's like I've been playing Graveyard Keeper. You can have something on the second screen because that's just like Stardew Valley. But if I'm playing Cyberpunk or Baldur's Gate, I'm in. You got to lock in because otherwise, like your attention span is just so dog shit. It's so crazy.
Yeah.
I'll just like be sat there watching a YouTube video and then open my phone to scroll Reddit. It's like, really? What is wrong with me? Sorry. Continue.
There is only one channel on Shorts that I've watched that I've gone, this guy's a fucking genius. And it's what is it? The Original Leak Detective. And basically he just goes around finding leaks in like plumbing and pools, and he's just a comic genius, and I love him so much, and I wish I was anywhere near as successful as he was.
Oh, is he the dude who's like, first use the plunger, see that it doesn't even work, then start screwing this one?
No, he's you just have to watch, but he'll like pretend to smash through glass windows like every single time he needs to go through a window. Just stuff like that. It's just repetitive comedy, but I'm like, he's great. And then he just finds a leak, and it's really interesting to go, oh, I've gone into this house, they're losing like, you know, a liter a day. Let's find this leak. And it turns out it's like underneath the kitchen floor, and he's had to like dig into the concrete and all this. And it's just like, oh, this is actually really interesting. And I can happily sit there and watch his videos for like literally for hours.
Dang.
It's my recommendation.
He or she
like,
is really loving that.
Have you watched Ghosts ever? It's just like the American version, but they like inherit this old house and it's haunted by ghosts. It's like actually really funny. And the ghosts, then one of them manages to be able to see them, but the other person can't see the ghosts or hear them.
Yeah, it's starting on BBC.
Yeah, but the ghosts just start to have a really boring time. So they're like, no, we just watched, like, nothing happened yesterday. We just watched Jay watch 4 hours of TikToks of people just unclogging drains. Kind of reminded me of that. Some ghost is sitting there like, all right, it's watching the leak detective again. First, when you said that, I was like, oh, like in grocery stores, just finding like random leaks.
Be a leaked vegetable joke.
Yeah, somebody is like hiding them around.
No, he's like, he like, you know, there's like a swimming pool, it's losing water. He goes in, he's like taking out all the bits. He has to test all the plumbing and stuff, all the pipes, and then he finds like a little leak and he's using dye. Yeah, I'll make it sound really boring, but actually it's very, very interesting. So if you're not going to watch me, watch him instead.
It is, everybody watches something weird. I watch so many like recipes now. Just shorts about recipes where you don't even get the measurements. You just gotta have to like, yeah, probably this much paprika.
Do you go into the comments and they've got someone like, this recipe is shit. I didn't have any flour, so I substituted it for plaster of Paris and my cake turned out way too dry. Is it that kind of level of?
No, I don't watch that many YouTube comments except for on our videos, because I think YouTube comments are the punishment for our gathered sins, basically.
That's true. That's fair.
I got a constructive feedback comment the other day on my second channel, and I was just holy shit, thank you so much, because that is just so rare.
Nice. What was it about?
It was just like general constructive criticism, because I did a video and he was like, maybe we should do like less plot summary and more, you know, of your own thoughts. I was like, that is a good point.
Nice. Yeah, I actually watched some old. I went back to like a year ago at podcasts, and then some people were like really mean to us, and I was like, I recognize that person, because now they're like hanging out in my YouTube chat when I stream and stuff like that, and it's like, how you doing? How you liking this thing and stuff?
You duplicitous bitch.
Oh, but it's really interesting how on YouTube you don't really hang out in the same way, but when you're in streams you'll actually hang out and you actually get to know somebody, and that's really fun. So they do, you know, come around and they're not always, you know, super mean and cruel, basically.
Can I read you a comment that I got on my other channel, which I just love this comment so much that I'm genuinely overjoyed to have received it. So this was on my have you tried the I can't remember her name now, but the Total War Warhammer 3 Ind Slanesh cult mod? I think it's Mahaduva or something like that. So basically it's like it adds Ind and there's a Slanesh cult down there. It's got a new legendary lord, new units, all the units have changed, all that kind of stuff. Anyway, fine. So it's on my second channel because I always do 12 episodes on my first channel, then move across to the second channel for YouTube algorithm reasons. But I saw this comment and I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever read in my entire life. So, hey, not to be a dick, man, but since this popped up in my feed for some reason, I don't think you're going to get a lot of traction playing mods. Literally every mod out there is unbalanced and makes the game easy, like you basically just installed the equivalent to cheat codes from StarCraft. Lol. Maybe if you were less of a huge pussy and played even on something you personally might consider challenging, like maybe normal difficulty with stat bonuses for your army, people would watch. Lol.
Damn. You meanie?
Yeah. So some people are just a collective punishment for our sins. Basically, it's just
like, this is the best thing I've ever read in my life.
I love when someone like takes such personal offense. It's like, well, have you like got nothing better to do with your day? Also, is your second channel? Please tell me it's called Monsters Abound, like more Monsters Abound.
Ah, shit, no, that would be better. I call it Monsters Abound Supplemental, like from Star Trek.
Sounds like it's your health branch.
Yeah, see, in hindsight, that does that. Yeah, but I'm too far in now, so I'm gonna stuck with it.
Fair enough. Yeah, the last thing I actually played was Monster Hunter Wilds.
I was gonna say, I feel like we've had that topic about 40 minutes ago.
Yeah, I know we got on a tangent, but it's interesting because it had like 1 million people on Steam, like 1.3 or something like that. It was crazy, the height of it, and it still had like below 50% positive reviews at that point.
People just angrily playing it. I think wasn't it just like performance was dog shit, but the game's actually really good.
The game is really good. Performance is really bad, and also they have like the Capcom DLCs, like microtransactions.
Got a fucking modern game releasing in a shit technical state with day one DLC. I'm shocked and aghast, I say.
Yeah, but it's like, oh, you can buy a cool armor set. Armor sets are probably not super angry about, but you can also buy stupid shit like character edits for $7. So you can edit your hunter. You can't do that otherwise.
That's so dumb.
You can edit your cats. Edit both your cats and hunter for $10. It's like crazy. But I'm never gonna edit my. I made 60 Vario, and I'm never editing him.
The entire point of playing a game where I have a character is, it's Barbies. I'm playing with my Barbies. Like my Cyberpunk character, she's got outfits for every time of day. I switch 8 times per day in game. Honestly, I don't know how I find time to play.
Yeah, it's those things are weird as heck when they have those in, but otherwise, like, good game. Honestly, it was pretty fun. It was my first Monster Hunter game.
I played a bit of Worlds, and I played one on the DS that ran like shit.
I keep trying to get into Monster Hunter. I just can't.
If you get Wilds, we can play together.
Do I have Wilds? What do I have?
It's the newest one that just came out.
Probably not.
Monster Hunter Rise, Monster Hunter World.
Wilds came out literally like last week.
Oh.
So big as well. And I tried both of them, and I was like, I just immediately bounced off them both times.
Save it for the Patreon, Charlie.
You have to find a weapon playstyle that vibes with you.
Yeah. You have a super big horn that you can just like boop boop smash. Like a big saxophone.
Or a gigantic sword, or a hammer, or in Worlds, I played with that insect glaive, so I was just like doing weird acrobatic stunts. It was fabulous.
Yeah.
Oh, she wants something. Oh.
Bless her.
Is it her?
It's Charlie.
Oh.
It's a he.
Sorry, buddy.
So he'll like pet me if I'm close enough. He'll like put his paw on my cheek like that. Let's go like, ah.
Yeah, my dog just licks my face and ears and everything else. He threw up yesterday. That was fun. Going away on Friday, threw up yesterday. Classic.
Could be worse. When we were in London, my child decided to be sick one night. Just so many chunks. So many chunks.
At least you weren't in the comfort of your own home to deal with that. No,
we were in my wife's brother's house with his wife, who is a massive neat freak.
Oh, nice.
Threw up on one bed.
Oh, no.
And then we put him in the other bed just while we were cleaning that one. And guess what?
All right, that's kind of on you. You don't put him in there without a bucket or something, or like put him in the bathroom. Come on now.
We did. We put down a towel, and while our backs were turned, he rolled.
It's the first time my daughter threw up was like she was like 1 or 1.5 or something, and it's like wild experiencing everything for the first time with a child, because she like threw up in the middle of the night and was like, what is happening? Like, am I melting? Like, it's just like there's like when there's that small, like they don't have any frame of reference for anything. And obviously you don't like when they want to have like sometimes you'll get sick, so like go into that.
I've been just playing, finishing off Cyberpunk to pivot away from vomit. Just finished off Cyberpunk about 55 hours in. I think I'm getting close to the end of like both the main game and Phantom Limits, so that's good. And then Graveyard Keeper, which has been that's my fun like not thinking game at the minute, which is nice.
Oh, that's quite good. I've seen that.
I love Graveyard Keeper. It's really, really good up until like the last bit of it, I think, because I kind of did most of the side quest stuff like that and did like automated most of my farm and stuff like that. And then at some point, the last bit of the quest is like, talk to this person, but that's like on a Tuesday and it was just Wednesday. So all you have to do is just wait for a week and just keep on doing that like several times to wait for the right day to talk to somebody.
Yeah, I think games like that way, like you just miss a day. I get the feeling that if I got to that point, I would absolutely just be like, oh shit. Because I'm like, all right, I'm going to do this quest. And I was like, all right, I've got these parts. Let me put them over here. Oh, well, I'm doing that. And then I don't do anything for like weeks on end because I'm too busy farting around.
Yeah, but it's just easier than Stardew Valley anyway because you don't have a lot of these timed events. Stardew Valley is like, oh, you missed the first summer, you bastard, man. Why don't you just go and like hang yourself in a shed now? I don't really care what makes strawberries.
You also don't need to sleep every day, which is nice.
Yeah, but Graveyard Keeper is. I think I had like 50 hours in it before I got to that point. So it's a lot of.
Yeah, I think
it's a really good game anyway.
I think I've got 20 odd over the last few weeks, which is a lot for me. But yes, that's all I've been playing. Saw the new trailer for the new Pokemon game, and that's like pretty exciting. It's very much like
I haven't seen that one.
It's like the Legends one, so you throw actual Pokeballs, but the battles are like real time, like the anime, which is like seriously cool.
Oh, really? So they like it would be like I don't understand why Pokemon hasn't become like an auto battler of some kind at this point.
Yeah, it seems like your Pokemon will follow you. So in battle, if Charizard does his flamethrower, you can actually like run to the side and help your Pokemon dodge, and then like do your move while he's stood still.
Isn't that like, oh fuck, get out of the way?
Well, I assume it'll be balanced around like you'll have to react fast, and it won't just be guaranteed every time, but.
How does that work? Some Pokemon are a lot easier to move than others. Like Pikachu, quite small, pretty easy to pick up.
Yeah, just punt it.
But Charizard, you're going to like, fuck.
I think they just follow you. I think it's less like you being like, fucking come here.
It's like, no, he's trying to catch a Pikachu. Like, slam, it's kicking them away.
What about if you, because obviously Pokemon seem quite dangerous overall. Like, Charizard used Flamethrower. That's going to be pretty dangerous. If you run into the Flamethrower, does it cook you?
I think you do take damage. In the last one, if you took enough damage from being attacked, you just like feign and wake up at camp. But yeah, the real-time battles in this look very exciting to me. That's just like that's cool. Literally the Pokemon anime, and that's like basically what they've been trying to achieve this whole time.
Because the Switch 2 is releasing now in May.
Is it?
April?
I don't know. I don't think it's got a date yet. There's a direct in the 4th month, April, yeah. But I don't think I doubt it'd be releasing that soon.
Oh yeah, that does make sense then, I guess. Other releasing as well. Are you guys into GPUs? Like following that?
I would like to be, but it's impossible to get one for a decent price. I have a stock tracker for the pure amusement of just seeing the obscene prices that they come on. I think the highest I've seen was about £3,500, which is just absurd.
At some point, I am going to get a new computer, but
I've been following that now. AMD is coming out with their stuff, so I'm just waiting for third-party reviews for the new AMD cards because they might save the entire GPU things basically. Because they said they were going to make their new cards are going to be equivalent to a little like 2% worse than the 5070 Ti. Won't have like the ray tracing stuff. It'll be like half the price.
And, available.
Yeah. And available.
I don't tend to think about these things. When I want a new computer, I go to YouTube, slap on Gamers Nexus and listen to what Steve tells me because Steve knows all.
Fair.
Yeah, I picked the worst time to buy a nice like 4K monitor. I just can't like get a graphics card to help me run anything. Oh well, you guys look great right now. And the blacks surrounding you, they've never looked more black.
What kind of monitor did you guess?
I got one of those fancy OLEDs. It's so nice when something runs on it. I don't think I've been able to max it out since I stopped playing Overwatch.
Which OLED?
The MSI one, MSI 321 URX PQ.
I was thinking of getting a new monitor, but like without a new GPU, I don't know why. Also, like the OLED still has like some burn in, and since I mainly do Total War on it, I'm fairly sure that it would like burn in like the like lower UI and stuff.
I mean, as long as you run it on like reasonable brightness, it's fairly low risk, and there's panel protection and stuff. But this is not interesting podcast content after all.
I don't know what you're talking about. People will tune in specifically for the OLED monitor discussion.
But yeah, I basically just like stopped playing Overwatch and started playing Marvel Rivals, and I got to like Grandmaster, and it's just the match quality has fallen so drastically.
Oh, you're a Grandmaster at Marvel. I was almost getting into that game, but then I was like, yeah, I don't have time.
Don't mean to flex. Yeah, kind of in GM, but kind of actually wish I was dead, honestly. So it's so upsetting.
Yeah, I played some Overwatch back in the day and stuff like that, but I get so competitive those games. I can't. I can't control myself. Then it's just gonna be like, oh yeah, I need to do like my 10 games today to like improve at all and be better. Like, I just don't have time for that anymore.
I don't have time to play games in general, to be honest.
I mean, I say I don't have time for that. Like, I've just named like the 10 best games I played since last time. It's just a couple of weeks ago. So
I should stream more because that would give me the time to play different games.
I mean, just having a day just doing demos is great, I think, because most of them are, just an hour or two or something like that, and then you can get through like 4 or 5 maybe, depending on how long a stream.
I don't have a day, Fred. I spend basically when my child goes to bed at 7 o'clock, that is then I need to record videos now time up until the point I collapse into bed at like half midnight, 1 o'clock. And then my child comes and wakes me up at 6 o'clock. So I'm constantly in a sleep deprivation. And then the rest of the time I'm either working or tidying the house. So basically someone send help.
My daughter is really good now in the mornings because she will kind of like go up and do puzzles and draw and stuff like that. And then she knows that if she wakes me up too much, she has to go to sleep again.
So at the moment, I'm sleeping in my child's bed, which is a bunk bed.
Top or bottom?
Top. So I have to lever myself into that. And then in the morning, he'll come in and he knows where I keep my phone on the windowsill nearby. And what he'll do is he'll take the phone and he'll like hold it over to me, go, can you unlock this? And like 50% of the time, he'll just drop it on my face.
Rough life.
Dang.
Tell me about
but here's the tool though, like the top bunk is just like for a normal bed for other people, you would just like it's just like that.
It's
lay down on it.
You know what? To get in, I literally have to put my leg over and then grab the side and like go. It's like watching a baby elephant try and like lever themselves onto the top of something. Getting out's worse because I have to sort of like leave one leg down, therefore crushing my testicles until I can reach the floor. At which point I then need to unhook my other leg from the top. Basically, it's a nightmare. It's an actual nightmare for me. But the things we do for our children,
Suddenly being woken up by a dog at like.
Not that bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good. You just like kind of goes, I'll let him in bed.
Yeah.
He never demands SpongeBob SquarePants on your phone, does he? So,
no, he just begs for literally every piece of food you will ever eat.
Well, what children does. So.
Yeah. Basically. It's like, will eat all this cheese and then I will have diarrhea and you will clean it up.
The dog probably eats its poop less as well.
No, he's never done that. He's too posh. He leaves it for everyone else.
Look at him.
Say hello.
Look at his little face. Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
He's like, I do not want to look that.
Can't you be cuter? No.
Mine's probably asleep in the sun outside, waiting for other people to give her attention.
I should probably wrap this one up.
Yeah.
I can tell it's Fred's day off. He's just like, I don't care.
Whatever.
Right. Thanks, folks, if you are here at this point. Jesus Christ. Well done.
Be praised.
You'll edit this down to all the highlights.
If I edit
Yeah.
this
All
down
four of
to
them.
like the relevant stuff that isn't a tangent, there will be about 6 minutes of content.
That could be a YouTube short.
Yeah. But we had a good 5 hours regardless, I think.
It's a good marathon. Oh, look at that floppy little paw.
Just wave goodbye.
Bye.
Thanks so much, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.